This indicator is the best trend indicator ever created on TradingView. I will teach you a high win rate trading strategy based on this indicator, so make sure you watch this video until the end and let's get started. Before I add the indicator, if you like my contents, please support the channel by liking the video and subscribing to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Alright, here we click on indicators and we search TASC directional movement. This one, which is an editor specs indicator and written by Pine Coders TASC. Alright, this is the indicator, and as you can see, it's added here below the chart in the form of an oscillator. You can see that we have a line here that is moving above and below the center line, which is 0. This indicator was originally developed by John Ehlers many years ago, and now we have it here on TradingView platform. This indicator is built based on hand function. Hand function is used for signal processing, and because of this, it is very suitable for financial markets to identify signals of momentum changes or trend changes in the market. By the help of this function, we have more accurate and realistic result based on the changes that are really happening in the market. The applied function on the price data is transformed and represented here in the form of this oscillator that you can see here. We have a line here that is oscillating above and below the center line, and depending on the position of the line above or below the center line, it changes color between yellow and blue. When the price is below the center line, the color is blue, and this shows that we have greater downside momentum, so the price is probably declining in a downtrend. And when the line is above the center line, the color is yellow, and this shows that we have greater upside momentum, so the price is probably advancing in an uptrend. Before I continue, I'm proud to announce that I have published a book, The Art of Price Action Trading, which is a comprehensive guide to price action analysis. The link is in the description and you can get it later if you want to master price action trading. Alright, by default, the length of the oscillator is set at 10, and if we decrease the length, for example, if we set it at 5, the indicator becomes more responsive to the price action. So on every momentum changes in the market, we have changing in the indicator. You can see that during this downtrend, in the pullbacks, the line went above the center line and became yellow. We have a similar situation here during this uptrend. This shorter settings of length for this oscillator makes it suitable to be used as buy-sell signal indicator, because at the moment, the indicator is highly responsive to the short-term momentum changes in the market, so it will help you to identify buy-sell signals. For example, by the help of another indicator, you identify the current trend of the market, and then by the help of this indicator with this short settings that we made, you can identify buy-sell signals. For example, consider that we already identified that here the longer-term trend is down and we want to enter in the pullbacks, and this indicator can help us to identify pullbacks and end of the pullbacks in a downtrend. Here in this indicator, when this line goes above the center line, it shows a probable pullback, and when it is closed back below the center line, it shows end of the pullback and an excellent opportunity to enter a short position. Or here in this part of the chart, consider we already identified that the current trend is an uptrend, and by the help of this indicator with the settings that we made, we can identify pullbacks and end of the pullbacks. Here in this situation, when the oscillator line goes below the center line, it shows a probable pullback, and when it is closed back above the center line, it shows end of the pullback and a great opportunity to enter a long position. But in this video, we're going to use a longer length for this oscillator and use it for trend identification. So again, we go to the settings of the indicator, and here for the length, we set it at 30. By the help of these settings, the indicator becomes less responsive to shorter term momentum changes, and this makes it more suitable for trend identification. You can clearly see that we don't have center line crossovers on the pullbacks. When the line is below the center line, we say the market is trending down, and when the line is above the center line, we say that the market is trending up. And then by the help of another indicator and price action concepts, we're gonna find a low risk trading opportunity inside the identified trends. Let me show how we can do it. Alright, here we click on indicators and we search parabolic SAR, this one, which is a built-in indicator on TradingView platform, and we need to change its settings. So here we go to the settings of the indicator, and here for the start we set it at 0.03. Here for increment, similarly we set it at 0.03, and for max value also we set it at 0.3. So for the start we have 0.03, for increment 0.03, and for max value 0.3. Alright, we're done with the settings of parabolic SAR. If you know this indicator, I mean the parabolic SAR, it is very helpful for identifying pullbacks and end of the pullbacks. When the dots are above the price, it shows that we have greater downside momentum, so the price is declining, and when the dots go below the price, it shows we have greater upside momentum, so the price is advancing. Alright, now let me show how we trade based on this setup. In the first step, we want crossing of this oscillator line above or below the center line. Here you can see that the oscillator line crossed the center line and went below the center line. This shows that probably a downtrend is started, but we don't trade only based on this because we can encounter many false signals, so we need more confirmation to decrease our risk and be more confident that a downtrend is really happening. So here we are now, and in the next step we want to find a low risk trading opportunity to enter a trade. Here we wait for parabolic SAR to go below the price. This indicator is telling us that the market is probably trending down, and here parabolic SAR is telling us that in short-term perspective we have greater upside momentum and the price was advancing. This situation shows probability of a pullback. In the next step, we wait to get the first dot above the price. This shows a sudden change in momentum from upside to downside. When we get a dot above the price, it shows that now we have greater downside momentum, and this shows that probably the pullback ended. So this was a pullback, and here when we got the first dot above the price, we can say that the pullback ended. We have another final confirmation, which is price action confirmation. During a downtrend, when the price goes for a pullback, before that, a swing low is created, and this can act as a potential support level. When we got the first dot above the price, after that, we want closing of the price below this level. In this case, you can see that when we get the first dot above the price, at the same time, the candle is also closed below this low. So here, the sell signal is confirmed, and in practice, we could enter a short position at this point. In this case, setting a stop loss above the previous swing high is very far from our trade entry, so we can set it here above the breaking candle and profit target at 1.5 risk to reward ratio. To decrease our risk, we only take the first pullback with the conditions that I explained, so we don't take the next pullbacks that are happening. This was a short position setup, and now let me teach you a long position setup. Here you can see that the oscillator crossed the center line and went above the center line. So here we have probability that an uptrend is forming. But as I said, we don't trade only based on this, and we need more confirmation. In the next step, our focus is on the parabolic SAR. We wait for the dots to go above the price. When this indicator is showing uptrend, but the parabolic SAR goes above the price and shows decline of the price, it shows that probably a pullback is forming. In the next step, we wait to get the first dot below the price. This shows that now we have greater upside momentum in short-term perspective, so probably the pullback ended and the price is going to advance more. In the next step, we have final confirmation, which is price action confirmation. In an uptrend, when the price goes for a pullback, before the pullback, a swing high is created, and this can act as a potential resistance level. We want closing of the price above this level. You can see that it happened here. So the buy signal here is confirmed, and in practice we could enter a long position at this point with the stop loss below the previous swing low and profit target at 1.5 risk to reward ratio. As I mentioned earlier, to decrease our risk, we only take the first pullback after having all the conditions that I explained. So we don't take the next pullbacks that are happening inside the trend. Please pay attention that although this is a high probability trading strategy and with different layers of confirmation, we try to decrease our risk as much as possible, but this doesn't mean you will not encounter false signals. No, there is no trading strategy in the world that can offer you 100% win rate. This is not possible. You need to manage your risk properly. 1% rule risk management is the best risk management strategy, and it helps you to minimize the effect of your losing positions. I have a complete guide on this. The link is also placed in the description, and I highly recommend you to watch it because without a proper risk management, you won't be able to survive in this game. Alright, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and leave a comment for me. I'll answer your questions as soon as possible. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you get the notifications of my new videos. See you guys in next video and good luck with your trading.